right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Weekend warm. You expect that in St. Louis during July, but there's one thing missing this weekend. Why this could be the pick weekend of the month.
Tonight, a vigil for the South St. Louis man shot in the head on his wedding night.
We're a family of faith, and we've always come here. Prayers is the most important right now.
How friends and strangers are uniting as he fights for his life. But first, holiday violence.
Violence like this, the message it sends is that we're not a safe place to be.
How both city and county police are now handling a wave of deadly mass shootings. Tonight, police from multiple agencies are working to get leads in 2 separate mass shootings on the 4th of July. Thank you for joining us at 10. I'm Brent Solomon. 7 people were shot, including a 13-year-old. Gunfire ringing out following fireworks. Our Annie Crawl kicks off our coverage tonight live downtown with what police and city leaders are saying tonight. Annie.
Brent, an overnight mass shooting right here near City Garden involved hundreds of teens, and it happened just hours after the city's 4th of July fireworks. Unfortunately, 7 people were hospitalized, but details from the city's police department weren't released until 12 hours later. Fireworks and gunfire, a chilling combination. You can hear the crackle of fireworks only blocks away from a 4th of July shooting just before midnight at 8th and Pine in downtown St. Louis. Police say 7 people were shot. Compton Heights resident Michael Sontag is grateful he left downtown before the arch was ablaze in patriotic colors.
We came in the afternoon, but purposely chose not to come at night because we were afraid of something like that.
Instead of a festive 4th of July parade, by nightfall, it was a parade of police cars down Market Street to answer calls. 3 18-year-olds and a 20-year-old were privately driven to a hospital. Paramedics took a 13-year-old to another hospital. A passing driver took 2 23-year-olds. And as cars race by and fireworks go off in the middle of the road, you could smell the tangy sulfur in the air. A police source telling us there were more than 300 teens downtown in the hours after the fireworks show. In the daylight, we spoke with St. Louis Alderwoman Kara Spencer, now mayoral candidate, about the open carry ban passed last summer.
I was hearing reports from neighbors, residents, business owners that they saw a real significant decrease in that.
Yet this is what's left the next morning. Windows being knocked out and boarded up at the Peabody Coal Building, while nearby Burger 809 hasn't even opened yet, and it had its windows shot.
Our St. Louis Development Corporation, Greater St. Louis, and other partners to really come to the table and make sure we're supporting our city garden and those businesses around there that the public, that are fantastic reasons for people to come downtown.
Gun Sense for the Common Good is a group working to reduce St. Louis gun violence through faith-based programming. Sontag, one of its leaders, is frustrated by the festivities being overshadowed by the violence.
It feels like we are always talking about kids in these shootings. This week was a particularly bad week. There were a lot of children shot this week.
St. Louis Mayor Tashara Jones calling the downtown shooting a tragedy. And we first learned about the shooting through viewer emails and sources who were near the shooting. Police did not release an incident summary until noon today, saying at first they weren't sure about the shooting scale. So far, no information about possible suspects. Reporting live in downtown St. Louis, Annie Crawl, 5 on your side.
And we can still hear those fireworks behind you. Annie, thank you. Gunfire also ringing out in the county last night, killing 2 people and leaving 5 others hurt. It happened in Spanish Lake in Glasgow Village. Police tell us big groups were gathered to catch the fireworks. As Megan Kernan reports, neighbors are reacting and calling for an end to the violence.
This neighborhood has been very peaceful until last night.
Fireworks still littering the streets a day after a mass shooting in Spanish Lake. Cordia Carver says a couple hundred people showed up to watch fireworks on Lakeview Avenue like they do every year. Except this 4th of July ended with gunfire.
I was trying to run for cover by that time. I couldn't look out the window or anything because they were shooting this way and they shot up my house.
6 people were shot. 1 man was killed. 2 are in critical condition, while 3 others have minor injuries. Sergeant Tracy Panis says there was more than one shooter.
I would imagine it was very scary last night with a lot of rounds being fired off. Again, at that second party, a lot of individuals firing weapons. We don't know how many at this point. There were a lot of children there, a lot of people there. It's a blessing that more people were not struck by any of the bullets that were flying.
Carver says a bullet came into her house, through her bedroom curtain, and shattered her TV inches from where she was laying.
And I was like, uh-oh. So I jumped up out the bed and just started running toward the back of the house.
Less than an hour before, there was another shooting on Valley Drive about 3 miles from Lakeview Avenue. Sergeant Panis says a man was gunned down as he attended a fireworks gathering in Glasgow Village. He later died at the hospital.
Several individuals had left the scene before we got there. We just encourage everyone to come forward with any information that they have.
I'm just disgusted with all this, and I'm tired of it. We just wish these young people would just stop with the killing.
Megan Kernan reporting. Police are asking for people to come forward so they can make an arrest. This is the second shooting this week in Spanish Lake. Someone shot a teen girl Tuesday morning, and last week a teen was shot and killed in Glasgow Village. As police were responding to 4th of July shootings, firefighters were also hard at work. Between 8 a.m. Thursday and 8 a.m. today, St. Louis Fire received 630 calls. 87 of those were for fires across the city. 58 were dumpster fires. 9 buildings and garages also caught fire. These numbers do not include calls that came in at the Celebrate St. Louis fireworks event. Within just the last hour, a vigil wrapped up for the St. Louis man shot in the head at his wedding reception. It happened a week ago today. Francisco Gonzalez is fighting for life in the hospital after police say 2 armed men tried to rob him. Tonight, our Justina Cornell attended that vigil. Justina, what is the family telling you?
Brent, last Friday night, Francisco Gonzalez married Dulce Peña in a backyard wedding. Now, a week later, he remains in the hospital sedated, and his wife hasn't left his side. Tonight, family pray for a miracle.
We're having a mass in Francisco's honor to ask for his healing.
Their hope is for healing.
We're a family of faith, and we've always come here.
Parishioners pray at St. Cecilia Catholic Church in South St. Louis. Family put their faith forward for Francisco Gonzalez. The church is their safe space after their lives were endangered a week ago.
Prayers is the most important right now, and we just need help getting these people off the street. We're still asking people to help us with any surveillance footage in our area of these 2 individuals.
Yari Beth Peña was in her sister's backyard last Friday for a wedding celebration. Her little sister Dulce married Francisco after 10 years together. After the ceremony, police say 2 armed suspects tried to rob them in the backyard and shot the groom in the head.
He's in critical condition.
Peña's family has been comforted by the community's camaraderie.
We're grateful for all the people that are helping us.
Father James Mickler,
we hope that people will realize that there is a great deal of power in prayer.
Leads the crowd trying to bring light in a dark time.
We're happy to welcome people who've come from other countries and pray to God and be part of the community in their own language.
A mass and a vigil is their vow to Francisco, pouring their love into him to push through.
Prayers are everything to us.
Family leans on faith and on each other for Francisco.
Now, police say detectives continue to investigate the shooting by reviewing evidence and interviewing witnesses. Now, there is a GoFundMe set up for the family. It's already raised more than $30,000. Now, if you'd like to help, you can head to our website, KSDK.com, and go to the section as seen on TV.
Let's go ahead and see if we can get a live look downtown. It's going to be less humid over the weekend. After several wet and rainy days, it's looking like we'll stay dry. Our chief meteorologist, Scott Cano, back from the fair tonight. He's here now with your weather impact forecast.
And you know, we don't have any big impacts per se weather-wise. You'll need the sunscreen this weekend for sure, but otherwise, the humidity levels backed way off this afternoon. A lot of sunshine for us today. There's more of that on the way for tomorrow, even into Sunday. It's quite comfortable around the St. Louis area tonight as we've been looking at temperatures dropping back out of the 80s and into the 70s. Lambert's down to 75 degrees right now, and that breeze is starting to let up a little bit. Outside of a few high thin clouds, all is quiet around the St. Louis area at this hour. Even some of the in-town temperatures close to the center city are running in the mid-70s right now. Those numbers pretty impressive considering it's July, and it is the weekend. We go into this weekend with nice weather on the way, a quiet pattern through Sunday. There's plenty of sunshine. The next rain chance isn't until Monday, and it's not going to be anything like what we've gone through the past 3 nights with heavy rainfall. At least tonight and tomorrow night for sure, we're on the dry side, Brent.
President Biden speaking out following that difficult debate.
He just had a really bad cold.
Tonight, how he's vowing to stay in the race, despite some in his own party exploring other options. Trapped in Jamaica, the local couple now impacted because of Hurricane Beryl.
An incredibly comfortable start to this weekend. There are changes, though, as we head into the beginning of the week. We're tracking our next opportunity for rain and why it won't be anything like what we've seen this week.
Tonight, President Joe Biden is speaking out in a national interview following last week's debate. It drew concerns about his ability to serve a second term. This as he prepares for a big rally tomorrow. Jen Sullivan has the latest from the campaign trail.
President Joe Biden sitting down for his first TV interview Friday with ABC News following CNN's presidential debate last week.
Is it worth the risk? I don't think anybody's more qualified to be president or win this race than me.
Concerns about the president's ability to lead the nation for another 4 years growing after his June 27th debate with former President Donald Trump. At times, Biden struggled to even finish his sentences.
With the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare.
It was the first time the two squared off on a debate stage during the 2024 election season. Even some Democratic leaders have called for Biden to step aside as the Democratic Party's nominee, and his approval rating dipped following his weak performance.
It was a bad episode. No indication of any serious condition. I was exhausted. I didn't listen to my instincts in terms of preparing, and I had a bad night.
Age has been a contentious issue for some voters. If re-elected, Biden would be 86 when he finishes a second term. The president defending questions about his mental competency.
Would you be willing to undergo an independent medical evaluation that included neurological and cognitive tests and release the results to the American people?
Look, I have a cognitive test every single day. Every day I have that test. Everything I do. You know, not only am I campaigning, but I'm running the world.
I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
While Hurricane Beryl is losing strength, strong winds hit the Yucatan Peninsula hard today as it heads towards Texas. The deadly and record-breaking storm is causing some alarm in Texas as the state now braces for impact. Rip currents are expected to hit hundreds of miles of Gulf Coast shores. Still deadly, even as a Category 2 storm. While Beryl makes its way towards the continental U.S., it's leaving a trail of destruction in Jamaica. And now a local couple is stuck there. The hurricane weakened to a Category 3 storm, but still packed a punch, bringing down trees and power lines. Allison Henderson of Overland and her boyfriend are now trapped. They were staying at the Azul Resort in Negril when the storm hit.
It was terrifying, though. So we put chairs on our doors because they were shaking so bad that we were scared that the glass was going to break. And so we tried to put chairs on there to hold them so that they would even be stable. Then it got to a point where there was water sweeping under our door, so we put pillows under the door, to cover the gap of the door.
After the storm, the couple left for another resort closer to the airport. Henderson says flights leaving the country ahead of the storm were all sold out. They're now hoping to leave on Sunday. With bird flu rates on the rise and dairy herds nationwide, the Missouri Department of Agriculture is stepping in ahead of the upcoming state fair. All dairy cows shown during the fair must test negative for H5N1 influenza. Now, this comes a day after the fourth person in the country tested positive for bird flu this year. The CDC recommends avoiding exposure to raw milk and other materials that are touched by any animal thought to have the virus. The Missouri State Fair is August 8th through the 18th in Sedalia. Well, it's Friday, and that means 5 on Your Side was at the fair today. Scott Connell spent some time at the Warren County Fair for our weather updates this afternoon. And this year's fair featured fun for all ages, including laser tag, a tractor pull, and even carnival rides, of course. Scott tells us his favorite part of the job, great fair food.
Yeah.
And Scott, might I add, you didn't bring us any elephant ears.
No, and the funnel cake, you know, it would have never survived all the way here. It was fresh and good.
I can only imagine.
And Tyler had his little turtle. The kids are doing turtle races tomorrow, so I met Tyler tonight. He's a youngster. He's got his little turtle, Speedy, ready to go. So Speedy was looking forward to this nice weather that we're up for. And if you're looking for a Speedy flight out of Lambert early tomorrow morning, here's the good news. Look at all those Southwest jets lined up. The lights are off. So they're there for the night. That means your first flight for tomorrow morning heading out in the early morning is ready to go. Temperatures are in the upper 60s. Right now, a cool night out at the Warren County Fair. 67 degrees in Warrenton, 66 in Litchfield. Most of us are still above 70, but not by all that much. Skies are mainly clear. Those puffy clouds have faded. We still have a few high, thin clouds around St. Louis, but it is a good-looking weekend ahead. We pushed the heat and humidity away from us down to the south. That's where we find the showers and thunderstorms. Raleigh-Durham Airport today had an all-time record high of 106 degrees. Moderate flooding continues here or will be impacting areas north and west of St. Louis. The Missouri River has crested at all locations, so it's dropping now. But we're still looking for that crest from Louisiana down to Grafton on the Mississippi on Monday. Alton will crest Sunday. St. Louis stays just below the moderate flood stage, but Herculaneum is just above that, cresting Sunday, with Chester cresting on Monday. This dry weather, welcome indeed after 4 to 8 inches of rainfall for some of us. And while that impacted a good many of us and caused a quick rise on the Missouri River, if you have a float trip tomorrow afternoon heading down across our beautiful float streams in the Ozarks, no problems. Those water levels are just right for floating. The heavy rain not impacting or causing flooding problems on the float stream. So that's good news for you there. And as you look at Sunday, still dry. We're still tracking the showers and thunderstorms off to our north and west, at least through Sunday evening. We probably have to wait until Monday morning. During the day on Monday, the chance for scattered showers and thunderstorms is there. But here's the deal with what's going on next week. For Monday and Tuesday, while we have that chance of showers and thunderstorms, it's not a big area of focused, heavy rainfall. In fact, through Wednesday, rainfall amounts are looking like they would stay under an inch spread out over some time, and that may be on the high side. It's 75 degrees right now in St. Louis. The winds have settled some. Your dew point 61, 87 for the high. Just a splendid night on the way as we drop back into the 60s with our mostly clear skies and those winds settling down through the overnight hours. The next 7 days, notice we don't have any weather impact alerts here. Monday into Tuesday, doesn't look like there's much of a severe weather threat with that either. And while it's going to be up to 94 on Sunday, we get to that 94 without a whole lot of humidity to go with it. So our heat index will be running right with the air temperature. It might be a degree or two above, but that's looking pretty good for this weekend and for this time of year. This could easily be the pick weekend of the entire month.
And pretty refreshing to have a few days without that alert.
Yes, it is.
We will take it. All right, we've got Corey Miller standing by now. He has sports for us.
Well, Brent, if you like comeback stories, tonight's Cardinals game is definitely for you. City SC's resident Billiken is making a name for himself, and the Blues' top prospect has already thought about lifting the cup. Sports is on deck after the break.
This 5 on Your Side Sports Report is sponsored by Telly Tire and Auto Centers, driving your way since 1942.
There are games in a baseball season that feel like signature games for one reason or another. They stick with you at the end of the year. If the Cardinals go on to make something of this year, there's no doubt we'll look back on tonight's performance in D.C. against the Nationals as a signature game of the 2024 season. Sonny Gray looking for a bounce-back start. He did not get it tonight. Sonny knocked around early. He gave up 5 runs in 5 innings. So, Cards down 5-0, let the comeback commence. 5-2 in the fifth, Wilson Contreras floats an RBI knock into the outfield. 5-3. Eighth inning, Nolan Gorman floats a pinch hit knock for an RBI. 5-4. And then in the ninth, Wilson Contreras stay clutch. He goes opposite field to tie the game with a bomb, his 8th of the year. Yeah, I think Wilson was just a little bit pumped up after that one. third extra inning game in a row. Cards did score in the 10th. Here's Mr. Automatic Ryan Helsley for the Nats score the Manfred man from second base to end Helsley's save streak at 31. He does limit the damage. Birds survive the inning. We go to 11. And in the 11th, the Cards go up 7-6 on a drop third strike pass Contreras at the plate. Hey, whatever works. Helsley gets another shot, and he does not flinch this time. Cardinals come back from a 5-0 deficit to beat the Nationals 7-6 in extras. They are 5 games over 500.
We didn't give up. I know we started the game falling behind 4-0, but I was trying to be a cheerleader for the guys while DHing, have good at-bats, and put the ball more in play. I heard some Nats fans saying things not nice to me, and that fires me up, especially after a homer. That's why I wanted to hear them to see where they are.
This 5 on Your Side St. Louis City SC coverage is sponsored by Together Credit Union.
It has been quite a ride on the roller coaster that is St. Louis City SC this week. And it's not time to get off just yet. They'll try to carry their momentum from Wednesday's win into Sunday's road match against Colorado. Here's a fun story that just keeps getting better for City. Johnny Klein is establishing himself in the MLS. The former SLU Billiken got his second straight start on Wednesday and was in the middle of everything. The Missouri native is settling in as an MLS regular and loves having his family and friends watching in the stands, sharing his experience.
Early on, it was just sparing minutes at the end of games, but now 2 starts in a row, I feel like I really belong. You know, I'm linking up with guys. I'm showing the fan base, you know, the league what I'm about, what Johnny Klein can do on the field. I like having all those eyes on me, being able to see me. I think it makes this experience I'm going through in this journey that much more special with everyone.
Another day, another big-time recruit for Eli Drinkwitz. Today, Mizzou got yet another 4-star wide receiver from Florida. Donovan Olubade is gonna be a Tiger. He's a top 100 prospect according to every recruiting site. And stay tuned. Looks like this hot streak could continue in the week for Mizzou recruiting. The Blues did some wheeling and dealing in recent days, but the hockey storyline I'm still most interested in is Dalibor Dvorsky. The Slovakian rising star scored 45 goals in 52 games in the OHL last season, put on another show at prospect camp this week. Doug Armstrong has said he is going to get a legit shot to make the club at training camp. I asked Dvorsky about how often he thinks about achieving that NHL dream.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've been thinking about it for a long time. Yeah, I've had that thoughts a lot, but you know, that's what we work for. That's what I work for, to make it reality as soon as possible. So that's why I do my best on the ice all the time.
Do you ever dream of lifting the Stanley Cup too?
Of course, yeah. I dream of it a lot ever since I was a little kid. So no, I believe it's going to happen with the Blues.
You can see more of my sit-down with Dvorsky Sunday night on Sports Plus with Frank Cusimano. Frank will also have an interview with SLU legend Anthony Bonner and the story of local Olympian Brandon Miller. That's Sunday night at 10:30 right here on 5 on Your Side.
Oh, yeah, we all met Brandon when he stopped by the Sea
Great
Shed.
guy. We did a big surprise intro for him. I know he appreciated it.
He was all smiles, too. Corey, thank you much. Well, there's a saucy meetup between 2 giants where you can see a local landmark collide with a spud on tour. Well, a former Cardinal is being recognized nationally, not just for his skills on the field. Adam Wainwright's been working on his country music career for a little while now. And about 4 hours ago, the former pitcher announced on Twitter he will perform next week on the Today Show. You can tune in Monday, July 8th at 9 a.m. Well, the famous food combination will be set to meet tomorrow. Check this out. The world's largest ketchup bottle will welcome the giant Idaho potato in Collinsville. There will be chances for photo ops. And here's a little fact for you. This stop is a part of the famous Idaho Potato Tour, the 12th tour of its kind, and the 5th one to visit the giant ketchup bottle. How about that?
Have you ever seen the big potato truck? It's pretty big.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen one.
Yeah, it's come here a few times.
All right.
Weather-wise, they've picked a great weekend, that's for sure. Lots of sunshine tomorrow, comfortable in the upper 80s. That's warm, but it's without the humidity. It does get hot Sunday afternoon. 94 is hot, let's face it, but it's summertime and it won't be all that humid. We'll take it. Dry weekend on the way. Good opportunity for us to dry out after all the rain this week.
Summertime. Have you seen a giant ketchup bottle?
Oh, many times.
You've seen it.
Many
all right.
times.
I've got to get in on the action. Thanks, my friends. That's all of our time at 10. The Tonight Show is next.